Alrighty, I think I have it all. The only thing I can't find is my comments on Instagram, so I'm trying to do both. So hopefully I have this right. So I want to welcome everybody here tonight. I am having a great time. I'm so excited to do this live energy, Equinox energy. And I am starting to see the comments, so hello everybody, I appreciate it. And so, what is the fun stuff we are going to be encountering on this great day? So, little secret. First thing I want to say is this has been a crazy year. Does anybody agree with me there? I have been having an amazing time going through this year because it's really been a year of self-reflection. And like I said, I'm going between cameras, so with that, I want to say I am so happy that all of you joined me today because I am excited to have you here. I'm excited to give this information out and I can't wait. And there's an extra special excitement at the end of this. We have a great giveaway that we're doing. So I've teamed up with Vernon Bird and she is doing a great crystal bracelet. And I am going to be doing an oracle card reading. So some lucky person is going to win that today. Now with that, so how many of us have made it into 2020? We're almost to the end of it, right? I'm excited, except we're not done yet. So with that, this is all about the energy that's coming in. Right now they talk about, Saturn and Jupiter and coming together and that grand conjunction there. One of the things people don't realize is there's a lot of other planets that are also lining up at this time. And with that, it may seem like, what do the planets do? And a lot of people don't think it really matters. But the thing is, there is a subtle energy to each and every planet. So if we kind of back ourselves up and look at each of us has a separate energy. The same as the planets have a separate energy. So think of it, you go to a different town and every town feels a little different. And that's what this is all about. It's a town. You could look at each of the planets as almost a town. Each one is different. Each one has different frequencies. You go to some towns like, I don't like it here. Other towns, oh, I love this place. So each of these planets are bringing in different energy. Some of the energy is us looking at ourselves. Some of the energy is how can we help ourselves moving forward? It's almost like a loving energy. So think of some of these as, that uncle or sometimes your dad who might have been a little stern with you. That's that stern energy. And other ones are more like that motherly or grandmother one where they're just like, let things slide, you're good, and they're helping you. And that's what this is all about. It's all of these energies all coming together at one time. So you're asking yourself, so what does it mean? What does it have to do with me? The thing is, every time this happens, which it hasn't happened for a long, long time, and I don't know how many of you are understanding a lot of the astrological or not, but it doesn't really matter. I'll give it to you in a nutshell. There are certain times where the energy shifts. And usually it gets a little crazy, and then there's a big shift. So if you look back in history, there's the times when there was, the Renaissance, and then we had all of the new inventions, the automobile, and think of the planes, all of those inventions came in. Then it was medical things that came in and all the different medical advancements. Just think of how we are now compared to what we were even 100 years ago. So each of these energies gradually shifts all of these abilities to bring new inventions and new things into our world. It's manifesting new creations. The special thing with this energy, with all of this, is that it is bringing in an energy that concentrates on individuals. So this is all about individual energy. This is what we can do to help ourselves. So if we look back through history and really look at things, a lot of things in history have all been about victimization. So it's always been the whole time, you can't do something without somebody else's help. And even now, if we look at our society, everything is built on you need someone's help to do it. And it doesn't mean you can't ever have someone's help. But what it means is, at this point, this is the time to realize that we are in charge of ourselves and can create things in so much faster, such a fast way at this point, because it's all about understanding that we are in charge of ourselves. So, one thing I want to say is that with this new energy, they talk about the age of Aquarius, how that is changing and it's all about free love and all this kind of stuff. And it is. But that age of Aquarius has been following us for a while. We've been moving into it for a while, and we're going to continue moving into it. But the age of Aquarius is all about new beginnings. This is all about new inventions. So you are going to see in the future, you are going to see in a not distant future either. This is very, very close. Within the next few years, you're going to see inventions. You're going to see medical advancements in ways you could not even imagine. You're going to start seeing things that have been hidden from us coming to the surface. And if all of you kind of look back over this year, it's all about turmoil, bringing things to the surface. And that's really what it's been. It's going to be in society and in our personal lives. So how many of you have had times in this last year or so where things were just coming through? It's like you had people that you thought you had put to bed, let's say, people that irritated you. How many people here have people that maybe irritated them, rubbed them the wrong way, and those people just kept showing up? But not just a certain person. It could be a person in your work life, a person in your family life. So it could be a friend, but it's going to show itself in all different ways. This is all about bringing things to the surface and examining them and understanding that's why we're going through it. So a lot of people have gone through turmoil in personal relationships. And that's because there's a belief in ourselves that we're working through. So if you have people that are just constantly taking from you, it's because you have a belief in yourself that you're a good person to give. And that's what a lot of us have, that belief in that. So that belief in ourselves that we have to give, and we have people coming at us, just all different aspects. And it feels like sometimes, like, what is going on? Why is everything I ever dealt with in my whole life, even feelings of inadequacy, feelings of just things not going right, feelings of people taking advantage of you, those are all coming up this year on purpose. It's so you can realize what part you played that happened to. Why is it happening to? What are you believing? If you're one where I'm just going to let things slide and I don't want to make any waves, guess what? Everybody's going to be coming into your life this year to make waves. And they're going to make waves in your life until you realize why you don't think that you can step above the waves. And that's the cool thing, actually. So this is the exciting thing. You're dealing with all this stuff this year, but it's actually so you can see it. So think of the politics, everything that's happened this year and there, and it's still going on. So it's bringing up all this crazy stuff so we can see it. And then we can decide, do we want this in our lives? Or do we want to work through it? Do we want to find a way to move through the craziness and the divisiveness? Is there a way we can come together? Because that's what this is about. This energy is all about change, and I mean change everything. Everything you believed in your life, everything you were told, so much of it is going to be bubbled up to the surface. You're going to see some kind of nasty stuff coming up to the surface. But it's so we can look at it, so we can examine it. And then, with this new energy, we are able to let it go in ways we never could have let it go before. That's what's so exciting. Because we now have the ability to see it, to work through issues, and to come together. Because that's what this is about. This is about coming together in ways we never thought we could before. But it's also, this is the cool part, this is also about recognizing that each and every one of us, no matter what our skin color, no matter what our gender, it doesn't matter. We're starting to recognize each and every person as a shining soul, as someone who is contributing something to this world. That is where we are going. We are going to be going into a supportive society where we're supporting others. So think of it. How many of you have had people in your life where you accomplish or achieve something? And you have those that are like, great, and they're very supportive of you. But how many of you also have the people where you don't want to say, and I don't know how to do these waves, I like the waves. And hello everybody. So I got Casey, Lady Da Vinci, I've got Julie, Jay, Cassie, Diane. So thank you for everybody for joining. This energy is all about understanding that the people that don't want you to succeed, the ones who put you down, that energy is going away. And they're going to have a little tougher time coming up because the new energy doesn't support that energy too well. So think of the times where you wanted to just say, oh, I did so great, I did this, and I'm so excited. But you're afraid to say it because you know someone's going to say, oh, why do you want to do that? Why do you want to do this other? Come back with us. Let's just hang out and let's kind of be miserable a little bit together. Let's just stay down here. And that's the struggle that's going on right now. And that's some of the things that people that were depressed before are falling into a deeper depression. People who had some imbalances before, those imbalances are going to show themselves like you wouldn't believe. But it's in a way where after a while it shows it so much, those people see the contrast and they can decide to change. This energy is all about seeing the contrast. And I don't know about how many of you have seen any contrast this year. I haven't seen any. No, nothing at all. I haven't seen anybody get upset, anybody having contrast about anything, anybody like putting like almost black and white, but not black and white, but showing different aspects so far one way or the other. That's on purpose. That's so we can see it. So we can see everything going on and we can decide. And also, because everything is being brought to the surface, and so many things we were told our whole lives. And once I started looking at this, sometimes I kind of sat back myself and went, holy cow, what have I been told about the world, about life in general? What have I been told? And I started looking, and I started getting more information dropping in from, I have my guides, my helpers, and the information they're giving to me. Sometimes it made me want to just sit back and go, what is real? What has really been told to me? Because There's so much that is been told incorrectly, been embellished, have been changed. Because if you think about it, fear, what does fear cause? Fear causes us to stay under control. So think about it. What did you do if you have children, or you remember when you were a child? What was told to you? If you don't behave, you're going to have something to reckon for. You need to watch what you're doing, because you're going to go to hell. So think about everything that was told, and that was, what was it for? And we've done it even with, if you have kids, even your own kids, like, don't do that, Dad will be home. It's fear. And what does that create? It creates the illusion of control. So you only have control when you have the fear, but is there another way to work things through? Is there something else we can do to cooperate, to come together, that doesn't need fear? This new energy and this new world we are going into, and I've got to say, I am super excited. Super excited. Hey Becky, good to see you on there. Super excited to be here and to be going through this time. This is a time in history. People are going to look back on this time and they are going to look at it and go, wow, I can't believe those people made such a change. And you want to know something? We all chose to be here. We all chose to be here at this time in history to experience it, to work ourselves through it, because we are working past the fear. Is it hard? I wouldn't say it's hard. Sometimes it's a little challenging. But once you start recognizing patterns in your own life, so say you would do things and you'd have people come up and just say, I want this from you. Or they don't say it in that aspect, but it's like, we're going to be doing something and we really want you to do this. This is what everybody wants you to do. And this could be family, friends, work, whatever. And you go along. But then after a while you look at it and go, when am I going to stand in my own power? When am I going to be there doing what I need to do? And once you start stepping back and going, what? I can say what my needs are. I can put myself out there and I can say, what? I always did that my whole life. I did everything for people. And even if you don't do everything, because that's, not a way to go look at it, but I did these things. But you know what? I decided that I am going to find my own power. I am going to step into who I really am. And that's the question. Who are you really? Who are we all really? In all honesty, we are an aspect of the divine. We are the divine. We are multi-dimensional. This is where intuition comes in. When you have intuition, where do you think that comes from? When I just felt like I needed to go here that day, or I needed to not be there that day. That intuition is yourself connecting to more of yourself on the other side. That's multi-dimensionality. And just think, if we are all part of the divine, if we all have that spark of divinity inside of us, every single one of us, every time you connect and something intuitive, it just pops in your mind, I just know that, or I just felt that, or I walk in a room and it's not so good there. You trusting that gut instinct. So it's always been called the gut instinct. Every time you do that, you are growing a muscle, a literal muscle, but it's coming from your heart, connecting to the other part of your heart, which is divine. We are all made up that made up of that divine aspect. And because of that, that's where intuition comes from. That's where a knowing comes from. And every single one of you out there have had that. Every single one of you. I know it. And every time you do that, you say, thanks, I got it. And then you work at it again, and you invite it in again. Because we are all going online to be more knowing, to be more intuitive. That's where we're going. Because that intuitiveness naturally connects you. It's like walking into a room and you walk in and there's someone you love, or you walk in and they just feel so good. That's your intuition. That's your divinity connecting. And every time you feel it, it grows. It grows and it grows. And that is a place we are all going. By doing that, we now allow others to be themselves. We don't criticize. We don't judge. Because everybody is on their own journey. As we are on our own journey. And this journey now is going to be all about information and learning. You need to question everything. And I don't say that lightly. I mean everything scientifically, everything religiously, everything media, everything that's been fed to us, you need to question it. Because as you do, you're going to find the truths that are really in there. And there are a lot of truths, but they've been buried under ways to create fear and create control. And those control structures are going to go away. And they're going away as we let go of the fear, as we see them for what they are. And this new energy is bringing that in like a freight train. So if you think things have been crazy so far, you ain't seen nothing yet, because there's more coming. And I myself can't wait to see the differences that are being brought in with this new energy, because it's coming. It's here. And all of us have felt this for a while. It's not new. But the fear is caused, hi Raleigh and Julie, and the fear is caused by others wanting to control us. And fear is innate within us. So think of it. If you take the animal kingdom and you have a bunch of animals outside, animals anywhere, and even yourself, drop something behind yourself, drop something behind any animal. What is the first innate instinct? The very first instinct. It's jump and move. It's fear. And that fear has been played upon by many, and not just now. This has been thousands of years. This is nothing new. And that's the challenge we're in. We are moving past thousands of years of fear, embedded fear. So when people really understand your first instinct as a human, because you have that animal instinct, you're going to move. Think of it, you're outside and it's dark and it's scary and you can't see anything, and boom, something happens. You jump. Fear is your first response. Now think of that. If people understand your fear mechanism, they can use it. And they have been. And this is our time to see it, to move past it, and those control structures are going to drop away. That is something that a lot of people don't understand. They're looking at the fear and the craziness like, we need to put it back the way it was. Don't ever think that way. For one thing, it is never going back the way it was. Never. We will never go back to that stage. We will only be moving forward from this stage on. And the cool thing is, that's because a while back when that energy first started coming in the 2000s, do people remember Y2K? The Earth is going to disappear, or we're going to blow each other up, or whatever. Those were some of our options. If we made it through there, got to 2012, we made it through there. That was our option to say, are the people on Earth willing to make a change? Those were our tests, our proving grounds, as you may. If we made it to that stage, that's when the energy said, all right, they're willing to go for it. They're willing to make some huge changes in their lives and in the world. So by doing that, by making these changes, now the energy says if they're willing to go for it, we're going to help them. And that means crazy brought to the surface so they can see it. That means having them see all these fearful things around them so they can examine it. And they can decide, what fear do I really believe? What fear do I want in my life? And if some things are untruths, what else is untruths? This is our time to learn, our time to investigate. And boy, I have been investigating. And I have been extremely excited. And my guides and my helpers have been steering me into ways to find more things, to understand more. So, I enjoy what I do. For those who don't know, I also talk to people who have passed. And how is that connection made? Our multi-dimensional connection. That's how it's made. And each and every one of you have people who have passed in your lives. And I bet each and every one of you have felt, have heard. So you've felt and you just remember. You remember and you feel the love. That's the connection, and that's them coming to this side to say, hey, I'm here. And when that happens, it's to let you know that you are the one connecting. You are connected to the other side. This is not a one-way street. And those people on the other side are not just there to tell you they love you. Those people on the other side are there to help us, to guide us on how to move forward. And once you stop to listen, they have some great advice on how we can do it. And they'll help move you on the right path. And this new energy is all about trusting yourself. So how many people here want to see things change in a way where people come together? All colors, all ages, all genders. How many want to see that? But in order to do it, we have to look at our stuff. We have to look at our baggage that we brought in. And that's what we're here to do. So, I'd like to know if anybody has a question on any of this right now. Because this is a time. If anybody has a question, try to put it in the comments and I'll try to answer some questions along the way. So everything here is about examining everything in your life. So if you have people coming at you, putting you down, you're agreeing with them. And if it's bothering you, so if somebody's putting you down about something you're doing and it's just bothering you, now you have to step back and dig a little deeper. Because when those things bother you that people say or people do, you are agreeing a little bit to something in what they're saying. And I know that sounds harsh because you're like, there's no way, I don't agree with that, they're just idiots.